I want to start by saying that this isn't strictly a review for Idolmaster Platinum Stars. I've played the game for a little over 24 hours now, and this is more of my impressions of than anything else. My background of the Idolmaster series stems back from when it was a Japanese exclusive on the Xbox 360, whose idol management concept intrigued me at the time. I've been following the series ever since, playing the games the best I could, but still undoubtedly missing things along the way because of the series' language barrier. This video won't be covering the story or how the characters are handled. This video is more of my assessment of Platinum Stars' gameplay. To the best of my knowledge, this is what I think about Platinum Stars currently. A lot of what drew me to the Idolmaster series in the first place has been taken out of Platinum Stars. When the first trailer showed the revamped rhythm gameplay, I was a bit apprehensive that Platinum Stars would stray too far from what made Idolmaster 2 and Idolmaster 1 for All such great games. The new rhythm gameplay probably looks decent to the casual observer, and I think this change was done exactly for that reason. It looks very similar to what you might see in a Project Diva game. Aesthetically, Idolmaster 2 and 1 for All's rhythm sections may not look impressive in comparison, but they were incredibly intense. You were juggling stats that would decrease every time you used a stat frequently, which meant you had to always balance out your stats if you wanted to get a higher score. You were also trying to build voltage for extra points on top of that as well. You were doing all of this while your idols competed with another idol group who would aggressively try to outscore you. 1 for All and Idolmaster 2 were amazingly tense games because of this. I'd argue that the series was equally a management sim, deceptively engaging RPG, and a decent rhythm game all wrapped into one. Platinum Stars outright scraps this entirely for a more generic rhythm system. You don't build voltage, and you really have no real control over how you play a song. You just play it, and hopefully your stats are high enough that you reach the score you need to in order to clear. The fact they completely took out the battle system from the previous game also makes Platinum Stars feel more isolated than ever. The motivation to getting your idols to the top doesn't feel the same because there's no sense of competition anymore. The previous games did a very good job of providing you with rivals to face and hurdles to overcome. Hell, the previous games even had an antagonist. As of writing this, I'm at C rank, which is effectively the halfway point, and nothing really has happened. I'm just doing the same concerts with higher score to work towards. As much as I'd like to think that maybe Platinum Stars will somehow turn around by the time I get to A or S rank, I really have some doubts about that. Getting back to the older battle system for a second, I really don't understand why they scrapped it entirely. I think they could have kept the festival battles with the gameplay intact, as well as have the new rhythm gameplay for concerts. Honestly, if Platinum Stars had done this, I think I'd be stumbling over the amount of praise I'd be throwing at it right now. Another glaring difference from the previous games has to be how you get outfits. I'm on the fence about this currently, so take this with a grain of salt. But instead of using money to buy accessory and outfits, you now receive these items from either completing a concert or by getting them as random drops after a concert occasionally. At first I found this kind of exciting, because one of the first drops I ever got was an S-rank outfit, so you can only imagine how that made me feel. But the more I progressed, the more I found issues with this implementation. For instance, occasionally you'd need a certain style of costume in order to do a specific concert. I went a few ranks without having the costume I needed because one never dropped for me. I was doing D-rank concerts, forced to use a E-rank costume, which really handicapped me for a while. If I'd been able to use money that I had accrued just to buy a costume I needed, it wouldn't have been a problem. It's painful in a way, because the game itself is very appealing to play and look at, but Platinum Stars feels very hollow once the initial hype wears off. It's still an enjoyable game, and if you ever thought about getting into an Idolmaster game, I'd say that this might be the easiest to ease into. But if you've played the previous games, Platinum Stars feels like another game that would rather alienate its core fans in the hopes of finding a newer, casual audience. For me, it's like a monkey's paw's wish. The Idolmaster 2 was an incredibly complicated management game that was downright demoralizing because of the language barrier. 1 for All was pretty much just right if language was an issue, and while I was hoping Platinum Stars would be even more accessible for people like me, the pendulum swung a little too far, and everything I really enjoyed from the series was thrown out for the sake of accessibility. So once again, this is just some weed Gaijin opinion. There's still a lot that I haven't covered. There's a lot that I've probably completely missed out on. I didn't talk about training or any of that kind of stuff. There's basically no management in this game at all, anyway. But overall, just my brief opinions about this game so far. I'm hoping to maybe make another video once I've finished it completely. Maybe I'll turn and I'll actually really enjoy it. I still kind of do, but just my brief impressions so far. So, thanks for listening.